Hi, I am Derek Silas, the Director of Electronic Communications for the City of Enid. Today we're focusing on holiday safety tips. My special guest today is Sergeant Tim Jacoby of the Enid Police Department. Welcome, Sergeant.
Thanks, sir.
All right. Now, coming up on the holidays, many people will be out shopping. We know that during the holiday season, theft and other crimes are increased. What tips do you have for safe shopping during the holiday season?
Well, I think it's important first to make sure that you lock your car when you leave it in the parking lot. Mm-hmm. If you're going to leave any valuables or gifts you purchased from another store in your car, such as your purse or your cell phone, then it's best to leave those out of view where somebody can't see it if they're walking through the parking lot next to your car. So in the trunk's always a good idea. In terms of while you're in the store shopping, it's kind of the same thing. You want to keep a close eye on your wallet or your purse if you have one, and most certainly your cell phone, because those are also a high theft item.
Fraud prevention. During the holiday season, there is a lot of fraud. What tips would you offer to our public about fraud prevention?
Well, I'd say if it involves internet shopping, because there's a lot of that goes on during the holidays, you want to make sure that you're doing business with a legitimate online company. And if you're not sure about that, then I would certainly do your research before you provide them your credit card number. You also want to make sure that, if you're visiting a website, for instance, Amazon, that you pay close attention to the website itself and make sure that it is a legitimate and not an attempt to make it look like Amazon's true website in order to get your credit card information. And lastly on that, I'd say you're always safer using a credit card versus a debit card, because your fraud protection is at a higher level with your credit card.
Those are all great tips for shopping online. Can you tell us the ways that persons can have their packages delivered in a safe way?
That's a real good question, because we have quite a few thefts of packages that are delivered to the front door when the homeowner's not home. And the people will just drive up, get out, remove the packages from the front door, and they're off. And they're very difficult for us to solve. Usually they're not seen by any of the neighbors because it happens so quickly. So, it would be important to think about how you're going to have those items shipped. Mm-hmm. Are you going to ship them to your house? And if you are you going to be home to receive the package when it arrives? Right. You may want to consider shipping them to a relative that, maybe an elderly relative that doesn't work anymore and would be there to answer the door and retrieve the package. You may want to talk to your neighbor and, tell them to look out for it and what time it's probably due to arrive. And you can track all those items, pretty easily online through most places that you order from. You'll have a real good idea what day it's going to show up. So that'd be my recommendation, because that's a very easy way to get victimized, is to leave your package on the porch all day while you're at work.
Now, I'm a techie guy, so I do a lot of social media. I noticed during the holiday season, people are always telling, not even during the holiday season, all through the year, they're telling, hey, I'm going to be in Arizona, I'm going to be here, blase, blase. What are your suggestions about social media in general?
I don't think it's a good idea to advertise that. It's okay to talk about it after the fact. When you're back home, you can post about how you had a great time visiting your aunt, but to put that out while you're away is an invitation for your house to be burglarized. Somebody, if your social media account is open to where anybody can see it, then it's pretty easy to tell when somebody is or isn't going to be at home. Another issue is when you have people tag their locations. Mm-hmm. And so it's also easy to go in, if you post that you're at your grandmother's house for Christmas, right. I have access to your profile on Facebook. Right. Then it'll also be easy for me probably to go in and figure out where it is you live, all on the same social media account. So really just use good common sense with that, and try not to put out any information that people can use to victimize you.
Home burglaries increased during this time as well. What are some preventive measures to ensure property is not broken into?
Well, it goes back to the simple things again. Lock your doors, Um, if you're going to be away from your house at night, leave some exterior lights on. If you intend to be away for a lengthy period of time over the holidays, leave a few lights on and maybe a radio inside the house. Make it appear that it's lived in. Have your neighbors pick up your newspapers, etc. And we also offer an opportunity for our citizens to call in when they're going to be away from their home, just to let us know that they're going to be on vacation, and they can give us the dates that they're going to be gone. And the officers that patrol that specific neighborhood, they'll take extra steps to stop by that particular house and make sure everything's okay. And they can do that just by calling down to the police station and asking to be put on the watch list.
If someone in the community sees a burglary, theft, or other crime, there are other ways they can report it?
There are. If it's a crime in progress, I think their best option is just to dial 911. It's going to get them to a live person quicker, and it's going to allow us to respond quicker. If it's an after-the-fact crime, if they've come home from shopping and realize that there's been a burglary or theft at their house, it's okay at that point. After the commission of a crime, they can call our regular number, which again is 242-7000. There's also some other options. There's the Crime Stoppers hotline, and there's TipSoft, which is actually, it allows you to text a tip. And I think a lot of people like that because they can remain anonymous. But then I'd also like to remind them that, if they're calling in and actually reporting to a call taker at the police department, a crime, and they don't want to be involved per se, and they don't want to be identified, they're concerned about that, then it's okay to tell the dispatcher or the call taker there that they'd like to remain anonymous, and that's okay too.
Are there any other tips you can think of that may?
I have a couple more. I'd say in terms of the worrying about your home, burglaries, it's a good idea not to advertise all the gifts that you may have there for Christmas. The Christmas tree in front of the big window is it's beautiful, and it lets all your neighbors appreciate it too. But if you stack a lot of presents around it and it sits that way for several days, it may attract the attention of a burglar who realizes there may be something of value there under that tree. Also, after Christmas, when everything's unwrapped and you have all those boxes to dispose of, it's a good idea to discreetly dispose of the boxes that I describe as a high value item, like you get your large TV or your gaming console, or you get a nice rifle. Instead of just throwing those boxes out on the curb for anybody that drives through the neighborhood to see, you'd be a little better off, maybe to cut them up, put them inside of the dumpster, where you're not advertising what you've got, so to speak.
I know I have noticed that people do have these large boxes outside after the holidays, but they can also use the landfill, which is open most days, to discard their information, their boxes or their Christmas gifts. Well, I thank you for coming today and
thanks for having me.
Offering us some holiday tips. And thank you for joining us today. We learned a lot today, and I hope that you have a safe holiday and you remember all of the tips throughout the year for your own safety. Thank you and have a blessed day.